Coming up, a 40-year-old man has his life snuffed out by the bullets of a gun. Our cameras are outside his Soldier Road home tonight. Police cracking down on the rising trend of jewelry snatching. We tell you what they're doing. Those immigration workers getting their wish for a safer workplace. We tell you what's being done to keep them safer tonight. And business owners and employees on Market Street say they see no end in sight to the roadworks in their area. It's Tuesday, October 18th. Get ready. The Bahamas Tonight starts right now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
It's great to have you along this evening. I'm Shanique Miller. This is The Bahamas Tonight National Report. A major security breach at Her Majesty's prison as a master key cannot be found, reportedly for 3 days now. We first told you about the missing keys on The Bahamas Tonight last night. There are more questions than answers still, as one section of the institution, reportedly maximum security, was put on lockdown as a result. ZNS News spoke with Superintendent of Prisons Dr. Elliston Ramming late this afternoon, who confirmed that one area of the prison was indeed shut down for several hours. Cyan Thompson has the latest on this developing story.
We're here at Her Majesty's prison where just over 24 hours ago, a very important key went missing. However, officials say that the situation is under control and that the 1,312 inmates are accounted for.
Immediate steps were taken to try and track down the key. We were not successful. Indeed, to this point, we have not been successful. But we took immediate steps to put alternative measures in place to ensure that the prison is safe, that the inmates are where they are supposed to be. And we are now completing the process of further fortifying that particular facility.
A call on Monday afternoon alerted our newsroom to what was happening at the prison, but we could not get confirmation on camera. Our efforts today, which included contact with the Ministry of National Security, resulted in our interview with the superintendent. While Dr. Ramming refused to disclose which section of the prison was on lockdown, a reliable source informed ZNS News that maximum security was reportedly the area under scrutiny.
We've conducted an exhaustive search, and I might add that, this is a human institution, and so from time to time, something will go wrong. Someone will go awry of proper established protocols. We suspect that that is what happened. It should never have happened, because there are protocols and procedures in place to prevent this sort of thing from happening.
Custody and order is a part of the prison's mandate, and according to Dr. Ramming, they took quick action when that key went missing.
We have a formal disciplinary process, and I don't want to preempt that, but should the evidence lead to culpability, then I have no fear that that person would be brought before the disciplinary tribunal, and the chips will fall where they may. Should the key surface now, it will be useless. It will be of no avail. It will be irrelevant.
Investigations are underway to find out exactly how that key went missing. Officials say that they will know by Wednesday afternoon. Cyan Thompson, ZNS News.
We put the issue to our Facebook viewers and asked a number of you your thoughts on the missing keys. Raphael Stubb says, I wonder why he feels the prison should be privately ran. Patrick Robertson says they should be ashamed to mention that. Are we supposed to help find it? What they need to do is rekey every lock. Delmar Taylor says, so what now? What if they never find the master key? How careless. Gretchen Saunders believes it's an inside job. Meantime, David Smith says those keys don't just go missing. Kurt Morris says a major code red breach for Her Majesty's prison as well as the public. Of course, we invite you to continue sharing and voicing your opinions on a number of topical issues. Go to our page at znsnews.com. Breaking news tonight, police have made a positive identity into the remains of that little boy found on Wednesday, September 28th in the Cable Beach area. Just moments before airtime, ZNS News was reliably informed that DNA results proved it is the body of 11-year-old Marco Archer. You will remember the 6th grade Columbus Primary School student went missing more than 5 days earlier, causing an island-wide search. Police tell us they are making positive strides in their investigation and are hoping to file charges shortly in this matter. The country's murder count creeps up by one overnight. Now there are 105 murders on record for the year. The latest incident rocking a Soldier Road community in the wee hours of the morning and leaving a family in mourning tonight. A 40-year-old man is the victim. He was gunned down and killed in his Soldier Road home. The reason behind the shooting still a mystery tonight. We spoke with Superintendent Stephen Dean at the scene.
Initial information coming to police indicate that shortly before 2 a.m., 3 men armed with handguns forced their way into the apartment complex. They fired several shots, resulting in a female receiving multiple gunshot wounds. She was taken to the hospital where she's listed in serious condition. Also in the home was a male in his mid-40s. He was shot multiple times and he succumbed to his injuries.
At the time of the shooting, the 40-year-old and his 32-year-old female companion were at home with their 2 children. She is in serious condition in hospital tonight. Now, with the gun amnesty still in place, Dean urged members of the public to turn in their weapons while making a plea for assistance in solving this latest murder.
Anyone who might be in possession of firearms, the clarion call still goes out to persons with firearms to turn firearms in. Police need any information that might be available. The information might seem small, but we need assistance from members of the public.
Now, if you have any information that can help police solve the 105th murder for 2011, call them at 919-911-322-333, the Central Detective Unit at 502-9991 or 502-9910, or Crime Stoppers. Police getting ahead of a trend that's caused a lot of heartache for a number of people, jewelry snatching. Tonight, they're warning perpetrators, you will be caught. Fern Carey picks up the story.
According to Director of the National Crime Prevention Office, Superintendent Stephen Dean, the latest crime trend involves the theft of jewelry, especially during the daytime. And he says in recent months, more people have fallen victim. He says they've received a number of complaints about chains being snatched in high-traffic areas like Mackey and Shirley Streets and the East Street area.
The areas of concern, we see this particularly in high-volume traffic areas where people have to slow down in particular traffic jams. Sometimes when people are jogging or walking, and in some cases in crowded areas, we notice that they're being approached by persons who just approach them and snatch the chain off their neck.
Meantime, police are pulling out all the stops to nip this crime trend.
We are responding by increasing our patrol. We have identified a number of areas. We have increased patrols in all divisions in New Providence with a view of ensuring that the public can move through the country, and particularly New Providence, safe, without being attacked by these persons.
And those persons are usually young men out to make a quick buck, some of them repeat offenders. Dean admits that cash for gold is playing a role in the high demand for stolen jewelry. However, he believes new laws coming on stream, where those establishments will have a waiting period before selling the items, will greatly assist police moving forward.
Police have an excellent relationship with these cash for gold places. Police have been doing random searches at these places. They have been good corporations. And in some cases, we have been recovering jewelry. We have been arresting persons based on the assistance that we receive.
Dean is advising residents to take photos of their jewelry, imprint their initials, and record the serial numbers. He also issued this warning.
Be alert for persons walking up to your vehicle. If someone is approaching your vehicle unsuspectedly, we want you to please screw up your windows, as the case may be. Particularly at nighttime, we'll ask you to do so at nighttime. We're saying additionally to persons, if you do not have to wear jewelry when jogging or walking throughout the neighborhood, do not do so. It reduces the opportunity of crime for some of these criminals.
In the meantime, police say the best way to avoid becoming a target is to ensure that you are alert and aware of their surroundings at all times. Fern Carey, ZNS News.
As debate continues on the anti-crime bills in the House of Assembly last evening, most parliamentarians agreed that the crime problem facing our country today was manifested over the years. Now, serious attention must be given to return the country to a peaceful nation. During his contribution, Marathon MP Earl DeVoe noted that the bills presented are aimed at addressing crime and filling voids in the justice system. He emphasized the government's plans to establish a volunteerism program much needed in our society. He reiterated that it will take many years to get rid of the problem.
I accept that a one-off solution can't solve these problems. These are, in many respects, generational problems. And if we remember our history, recent and ancient, we would understand that it took many years for us to get here, and it will take many years for us to deal with some of these problems.
St. Cecilia MP Mother Pratt, during her contribution, called for more support to be given to ex-cons, an effort she said should be made to ensure that upon their release from prison, they are rehabilitated so that they do not revert to a life of crime.
In one breath, we are saying give them a second chance. That's what we say in one breath. And in another breath, when they come for a second chance, we say you have a record. Nothing is happening. And so therefore, we have to look at the whole, the system itself, Mr. Speaker, dictates that they're rejected. So if they're rejected, they're going back to a life of crime.
Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet stressed that all must get involved in the fight against crime, as government initiatives alone cannot work.
We need to send a message to those persons in the community who are conducting these crimes that we as a society have had enough. It has to come from me, you, the people listening, the mothers of the bad boys and bad girls, everyone. We're in this together.
And as a recent travel advisory was made warning potential international visitors of the threat of crime in the country, Simonet said this is something we do not need at this time.
A travel advisory would not be the best thing for us. And that would then affect 8,000 people at Curzon International. Umpteen people in the financial services building. While we try and play petty politics or have legal arguments as to whether these bills are right, wrong, and whatever.
The issue of safety apparently no longer a concern for staff at the Immigration Department on Hawkins Hill. Ministry of Immigration officials have secured the services of Trace Security Limited to oversee the grounds. Last week, employees walked off the job in protest of what they termed unsecure working conditions at the headquarters on Hawkins Hill, including cars being stolen from immigration's parking lot, vehicles being broken into, and items stolen. But more than that, employees were reportedly either robbed going into or coming out of their vehicles. Vice President of the Bahamas Customs, Immigration and Allied Workers Union, Sloan Smith, spoke with our news team.
Deputy Prime Minister, for the urgent stance he took, the strong stance he took, to what I believe caused that some action was taken so that we may have somebody in the parking lot, like he said today. That is just the tip of the iceberg, really. It's a step in the right direction toward good industrial relations with the Department of Immigration.
Still, Smith says there are some outstanding issues the union wants addressed.
Monumental issues exist, and that's just simply baby steps in the whole process, such as proper salaries for staff, issues such as the shift system that we will address very shortly, persons who were off the job for a number of years, who have yet to be properly compensated, issues related to even the parking lot at the airport. Now I'm advised from the Director of Immigration that he has made certain representations to the Minister who is in charge of that area out there, so that we can have the staff parking at closer proximity to the building, to their working environment. And so we are confident, based on this one minuscule step, minuscule but important. But alas, it comes somewhat late and almost regrettably, because had it been done the first time a car was stolen, we would not have had a fourth person having to have some financial challenges as a result of that act.